of the major lessons that the collective is imbibing and inculcating at this point of time and is learning is not to judge. Do not judge anyone. Do not judge yourself. Do not judge others. Do not judge actions of others and not even of yourself. Realize that behind every action there's a reasoning. Why people do certain things, why you do certain things, has a deeper reasoning. So instead of judging someone, try to understand the reason beneath and try to realize what is the deeper reasoning, deeper lesson, deeper cause of why a person would act in a certain way. What could be the other impacting factors that are leading to this particular set of actions? And more we start to understand that and inculcate that as an understanding, we come off as people who are less judgmental and more understanding in a situation, and more understanding you are, the less reactive you are, the more you will feel safe in a world like this. Otherwise, we often might be feeling ourselves in situations where we have thoughts and tendencies of people are out there to get me. The world out there is not safe. I can't trust somebody out there. There are spiritual warfares happening. Yes, there are spiritual warfares happening, and I highly, highly recommend you to listen to prayers which release the spirit of delay, spirit of Leviathan, and spirit of Jezebel, and spirit of Python. So these are the demons that are literally attacking at this point of time. But the demons can impact us and attack us are also connected to our psychology. If we work on our psychology, if we work on ourselves, work on self accountability, work on more self awareness and self retrospection, obviously all these spirits can be removed and will not be able to impact us. And if we keep on channeling ourselves to God, not just particularly Christ, but whichever God you believe in, whichever religion you're connected to, whichever source energy, whatever you most connect to, connecting more and more to God. I personally am someone who believes a lot in Jesus Christ. I have seen the miracles of Jesus Christ in my life, and I keep on going back to Jesus when I am in a state of trouble. But have a good relationship with God, build a beautiful relationship with God, connect to God, get to know God more, learn about God more. Because the inner voice of demon, the inner voice of God, that contradiction cannot exist in a mind that is knowing God, is aware of God's power, is aware of God's miracles, and choose to surrender yourself to God, choose to surrender yourself to being someone who is surrendered to God. This is also the phase where we are moving from a state of being in a state where we are enslaved to other people, we are idol worshipping. So, moving from idol worshipping, cults, and choosing God over all of that is much of necessity. And definitely, it's not just about spirituality, it's also about religiosity, it's also about Christianity, it's also about Islamhood, it's also about Hinduism, it's about every religion as well. God is not just constricted to spirituality. God has his power in religiosity. God is with plumbers, God is with rock stars, God is with musicians, God is with people who are mm, dancers, God is with people who are actors, God is with everyone, God is with prophets, God is with those who are quantum beings having human experience, God is with everybody. So God is everywhere. God is not just restricted and constricted to certain aspects of life. God is in every aspect of life. God has created us. God has breathed life into us. God is in science. God is in art. God is in literature. God is everywhere. So it is time to really, really realize that and not just restrict God, constrict yourself just to spirituality, just to certain domains of understanding, cult worship, and all of that. Moving past that, it's time to really, really choose God. It's time to really realize that God is the teacher who's teaching through us. God is the one who's creating prophets. God is the one who's creating channels. God is the one who's creating mediums. God is the one who is behind spirituality. God is the one who's behind religiosity. So, oh, this is bad, this is not from God, that is from God, this is created by humans. Everything is created by humans. Spiritual laws, spiritual books, spiritual cult worship, belief system are also human created. It's just a upgraded version of religious cults. So, with that being said, it's time to really, really understand God. It's time to really, really understand yourself, understand your truth, understanding love, understanding the flow of your inner essence, understanding, realizing that no matter what karmic residue, karmic debt, karmic lessons that you have been put through, it was for a reason. And what is the lesson that was beneath there? In my previous video, I actually talked about a lot of the lessons that have come through here. Also, we are talking about lessons again coming through for the collective consciousness to inculcate and imbibe and realize. So, the more we understand the lesson, what happens is that once you realize the lesson, you understand the wisdom that is beneath it. And the wisdom is what you integrate within. Like you realize that, okay, I am not here to judge others, I'm not here to control. I have to let go and surrender of the controlling energy. You know it, but you put it into practice. That is the difference between integrating wisdom and not integrating wisdom. You know something, you know of an information, but you do not apply it in life. That's not an integrated way of living. An integrated way of living is that you get to know of a wisdom, you're aware of a wisdom, and you realize that it's time to practice that wisdom in life. And life brings you to a position where you go through a series of maybe lesson learning of the same lesson through different people to finally realize that this is a lesson, this is an aspect that I have to integrate and imbibe within, and I cannot run away from it. For a lot of divine masculines, the lesson that they are learning would be responsibility, learning to value people and everything, and learning to value life, learning to value relationship, learning to value finances, learning to value responsibilities, taking self accountability, choosing to be more accountable, less blaming others, and being more less in a victim mindset, more in a empowering mindset, realizing that we're not victim to our circumstances, not operating from the ego, but operating from a state of love, not operating from a state of love to feel lust and temptation and people pleasing, but operating from a state of love to serve God. There's a huge difference in that. And that is also an aspect that is being imbibed and inculcated for the collective consciousness and your divine masculine at this point of time. And also choosing to not leak energies, not choosing to therefore, man shall not covet his neighbor's wife. Therefore, a man shall be loyal to his own wife. So, being loyal in your own marriage, not hitting on your neighbor's wife, not hitting on someone else, but knowing the healthy boundaries of loyalty are also aspects that are being imbibed and inculcated for the collective consciousness at this point of time. And the more the collective consciousness works on it, guess what releases? Spirit of Jezebel. Spirit of Jezebel cannot come in if we are already aware of all these aspects. That's what I was trying to refer to. So, more your psychological awareness is strong, the more you know God's nature, the more you have the basic idea of right and wrong, which is for the highest good of all, as Christians, as Hindus, as Islam, as every culture. The more you realize that this is the right thing to do, I am not supposed to go and cheat on my wife. This is like common sense. The more the common sense becomes common, the less uncommon will be problems and unnecessary chaos and drama in life. And the more we realize it, the more we'll be solution oriented, less will be problem oriented. The more there will be solution in life. Life is not at all complicated. God did not create a life to make everything complicated, make everything a big issue and get intimidated by that. But God created this world so that we can live, be happy, live in a merciful way, love each other, and how God has loved us. That doesn't mean that we have to be close to everyone, break our boundaries, but bless everyone in God, bless even your enemies in God, and wish the best for all, and know that God provides for all and also for yourself. And also walking on faith is another aspect coming through, as I was talking about this channel. In so we have to also walk on our faith. We have to understand that we have to be faithful servants of God. So we also need to be a person of character. So allow yourself to ask God to build your character how God would want your character to be built. So what is your character in God? Ask God to reveal it and activate it as your personality in you, and ask God to work through you, and ask God to channel through you. And apart from that, what is being channeled is that have faith that God will provide. If you are in a state of upheaval and feeling like God will not provide and not have enough, you are being asked to work on your mindset, be teachable, be humble, allow yourself to learn more, work on your belief system, release the fears, triggers, work on your limiting beliefs and fears, and understand what is the fear holding you back, understand the story you are telling, understand the pattern that is holding you back, realize the kind of experiences you've been through and how those experiences have got you to the state of consciousness and fear, and what is the fear beneath it, and in that fear what is the lesson learning, what is the aspect. A lot of times that Leviathan spirit comes in, spirit of delay comes in and takes away your hope to live, takes away your joy to live. Spirit of Python comes in and takes away your desire to be, takes away your confidence. You give your power away, you don't want to live, you have lost will to have the materialistic desire and possessions, and that is what has to be lifted for you to start to value life again. A lot of times what you are not receiving is a protection from God, because you'll have more loss, and if you were receiving at that point of time. And sometimes loss and going through a period of delay is God's way of talking to you, of making you realize that you are going through a phase of realization. You're going through a phase where you need to retrospect and go through the phase of being in a desert, to again come out and form new form of creativity, retrospect through life, choose yourself, put God first, realize that it's not your responsibility to save others, but push them towards God. God is there for all, God is going to be there for you as well. It is your season to inculcate the faith muscle and get it more strengthened in you, and that can also be a message coming through for you from God at this point of time. Thank you and love and light to you. Whatever you're going through, my heart goes out to you. And I know that it's not easy to go through a lot of upheavals, a lot of strangeness at this point of time. But this was also happening so that you show up for your purpose, so that you show up in your new avatar in God, you show up in your new blessed self in God. And that's also why whatever you were experiencing was happening, and everything happens for a reason, and every season comes with a lesson. And once we realize the lesson beneath, the wisdom is inculcated, and we shift and get into a new portal, a new dimension that is opened of realization. And these are not just part of the quantum evolution, but the path of quantum evolution and the path of evolution of God are the same, because God is the creator of it all. God is beneath everything. Not even a leaf moves without God's choice. So instead of demonizing anything, instead of feeling jealous, envious, resentful towards anything, feeling the love and inspiration and learning from other aspects will be helping us to expand as beings and live life in a more queen king size, and experience blessings of God in every aspect of our consciousness. It's time to imbibe that in, and it's time to stop judging, and do not even judge somebody who's judging, because they do not know any better. Forgive them, Father, because they do not know any better. So you are being washed by the blood of Jesus in the cloak of God. You are being embraced right now, and Jesus has already died and has been put on the cross to forgive your sins. And that doesn't mean we go on committing sins. It means that we start to rectify what is sinful in us and start to go through that phase of really choosing to honor God and choose to rectify our mistake and become a version of ourselves that is more one with God. Thank you, and love and light to you. God bless you. Thank you.